Hi everyone, it's Stu here from 3B. Today I'm going to do a update on the Optoma UHD40 4K projector review that I did quite a number of months ago. It was last year, and when I got the UHD40 and I did the review, I thought it was an amazing 4K projector considering the price at the time, which was, I think I got it for $13.99, which is an incredible price for a 4K projector, but they are coming down. One of the things I did note during that video, aside all the positives, and there are an awful lot of positives with the UHD40, is that it would lose the source connection around about 45 to 50 minutes, but it would be random. It would be sort of between 45 minutes, maybe up to 70 minutes. But what would happen, it would actually lose the source, and it would look for that connection, and sometimes it would reconnect within a minute or so, and then sometimes it would just lose it completely. Other times it would say it can't find a 4K source, and it will revert to a 1080p. Now, this went on for some time, and I got help from Optoma at the beginning. They were always and have always been incredibly helpful. And one of the first things they suggested is that perhaps the cable, the HDMI cable I had running, was too much of a length for it, even though it was pretty much less than 10 meters. But what I did do is I bought the optical HDMI cable that they recommended. But sadly, that didn't solve the problem. This went on for a while, and I thought, well, perhaps maybe it's my AVR amp. So I upgraded from a Denon 2300 X or whatever it was called to the Denon 4400, and I still had the exact same problem. It didn't solve anything. So what Optoma kindly did, is that they received the unit back, and they then tried to replicate that same issue because they thought it was somewhat strange that this would continue. To the degree where they couldn't replicate it, they bought the same the same cables, the same AVR amp, and they just simply couldn't replicate that issue where I would get the lack of source and it would cut out. And then what happened then is that they did all that testing, and they recommended that I'd get maybe there was some sort of power fluctuation. So I got the exact same, basically I got the exact same equipment in terms of even the power conditioner that I had. Same cables, same AVR, same everything. And I thought maybe that's it. Maybe it was just a fluctuation, and because these 4K projectors are a bit, sensitive, maybe that's what was causing the issue. Unfortunately, I got my unit back, and it kept doing the same thing. The odd thing is that I had many other projectors to review from Optoma, and they worked fine on the same equipment. I didn't get the same issues. So they then assumed, well, okay, perhaps then it was a fault. So they gave me, the one they lent me to use wasn't doing the same issue, or wasn't doing it as much. And so they decided to offer a complete replacement, which was an incredible thing to do, given that I'd had the unit for several months. And they'd been working on this fix, and I'd been working on this fix, and no one seemed to figure out what was wrong. And I assumed, and they assumed, that by giving me a brand new unit, this would stop the problem and we can all forget about it and move on and be happy. Now, unfortunately, what's happened is that the same problem has pretty much been there after about a week of use. After about 1 to 2 weeks of use, it started to come back again, and it's got to the stage where I don't even use the 4K projector as much I use it rarely now, simply because when I'm watching a movie, I've got that gut feeling not too far away that it's going to cut out. You know, I sort of look around about 50-minute mark on my watch and think, yeah, it's going to cut out anytime soon. And it does. And it then takes you out of the movie. You're then wrestling with the UHD projector to get it to kind of pretty much restart. And that's the real only way to get it back to being finding the source and getting everything done. And you have to literally restart everything, because for whatever reason it will have a complete fit and will not find the source. And this has been going on with the AVR amp I had the last time, with the new AVR amp, and oddly Optoma are unable to replicate this. But it just seems incredibly odd that I have the exact same equipment and the exact same setup, even down to having the same power conditioner as they are using, and I'm getting this problem all the time. Dropouts on source with attached sources is not an uncommon issue. But to have this when you watch every single movie and you just think, you know, you have this gut feeling and everyone that's watching it with you, and then it happens and everyone's disappointed and then they're sort of taken out of the movie and you're having to restart everything. And because of that, I simply don't use the UHD40 as much as I really should, given that it is an incredible and visually impactful great 4K projector, other than this problem. So my updated review is based on not only the original unit I had, not only the original equipment that I had attached it to, but a brand new one, a second new one that they gave me, and also other new equipment that it was attached to also. And it still continued to create this cannot find source, and then either just completely not be able to connect it at all, and the projector will either crash, or it will go into some sort of odd, I found the source but I can only show it in 1080p, even though it's a 4K source on a 4K optical cable, which is the exact one that Optoma recommended. So that's my updated review of the Optoma UHD40. Is pretty much I wouldn't buy it, because the fact is that that issue, which could be seen maybe perhaps as a small one, is an incredibly annoying one. And the fact that I'm not using it half as much, I've not watched it in about 2-3 months because of that issue. And I should be using it a lot. I should be hungry and finding reasons to use it, but I'm just not. I'm really not bothered with it. I've kind of become so ambivalent to it, and so frustrated with the fact of this issue, and knowing that there's very little that can be done to fix it. And as a result of that, on my personal view of the product now, from it being an incredible piece of kit, which it is still, to visually, but in terms of real world physical use, I can't endorse it. I can't say that I would recommend getting it. So with that in mind, I would give the Optoma UHD40 4K projector a don't buy. I wouldn't touch it for that very reason. And I must say, and I must give a complete thumbs up to Optoma, they gave me every possible help to get it fixed. You know, they replicated my setup and they still couldn't get it to do the same thing, which is an incredibly odd thing considering we all had the same equipment, yet this issue still continued. And I can only base it on my own personal experiences, and given that I believe I've given it a good shake of the stick, so to speak, I'm still getting this issue, and I still feel that, you know, for me personally, the Optoma UHD40 is a bit of a bust on that front. As to where I go from here, I welcome communication from Optoma. I'm sure perhaps they'll probably be touch with this and say we'll never send you anything ever to review ever again. And that's fine. You know, that's fine. I've got no beef with Optoma. I'm sure they haven't with me. And it's just a sad case of having something wrong that's odd, that's just very particular about that device. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason is. If any of you can figure out what it is, please tell me. Please tell me. And then I can tell Optoma too, because they would be very interested to know that also. So that's my updated review of the Optoma UHD40. Sadly, it's a don't buy based on my own personal experiences. And look out for further reviews. Don't forget that we'll be game streaming as well, and the times of those are Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Mondays and Fridays are from 2 till 5, and then Wednesdays it's from 7 till 9, and they're all GMT times. So thanks again for watching. I hope to be a bit of a sort of a Debbie Downer on this projector, but I can only go on my own personal experiences with its use. And look out for more reviews, look out for the streaming. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you again. Thanks for watching.